Today we are talking about natural energy foods. If you've been listening a while, you might have heard me just kind of briefly mention that I'm talking about natural energy, not a stimulant energy, not an energy from a stimulant. And I want to dive a little bit deeper into that today. Let me start by saying I'm not opposed to caffeine. If you've listened to my episode on sleep, I do recommend stopping caffeine 12 hours before you want to be asleep. So for example, I want to be asleep in between 10 and 10:30. So I'm pretty good about finishing up coffee intake around that same time in the morning, 12 hours earlier. I'm not necessarily talking about reducing consumption here, though if you're used to drinking caffeine all day to get through the day, I guess that it could. But that really brings me to my point. If you're having to rely on caffeine to get through every day, or you won't have enough energy, I really feel like there are ways that we can fix that issue in different way or at different ways. Let me preface this by saying there are times in our lives that are hopefully short that may lead to us needing to have a stimulant all day. So what comes to mind is a new parent. They're up all night with the baby, people who work full time and they're going to school and then they're having to do homework all night. I'm probably not talking about those situations, though all these things can still help. And so what foods? Let's just start with foods that we can add to our diet for natural energy. Oatmeal is a complex carb and it's going to slowly burn and be a source of energy. And oats also boost serotonin, which can help us manage stress, enhance learning, and memory function. We can start adding bananas, yogurt, especially Greek yogurt. Sesame seeds can add that crunch or flavor to a salad or other dishes. They're full of magnesium, which actually helps convert sugar into energy. Cinnamon is a great one. You can add a dash to your coffee in the morning. Of course, you probably know I'm drinking it in my water first thing with the MetaPower Blend Essential Oil. Water, just water. So we just brought up water. And you might not even think about this one, but if you're dehydrated, that causes low energy and even brain fog. And so you're thinking, I need caffeine. So next time you're in that slump, maybe consider drinking a nice tall glass of cool water. Beans and legumes, they help produce energy that actually delivers that energy to our cells. Dates are high in natural sugar and can give that kind of energy boost you might eat throughout the day, that you might need throughout the day. And so you can eat them just a handful or even consider making energy balls with the dates. Brown rice is very nutritious. It's very satisfying. It's less processed than white rice. You know, we're always trying to nudge that needle of less processed. And this is actually one that I'm trying to nudge right now. This last time John went to the grocery store, I was like, okay, buy brown rice instead of white. So I don't want anybody to think I'm perfect. I am still nudging my needle. Avocados are an amazing superfood. Eggs are super satisfying. They're packed with protein, which means they're a steady, sustainable energy. They also have an amino acid that is known to stimulate energy production in several ways. It helps take a cell to more blood sugar, which stimulates energy production in the cells, and it breaks down fat to produce energy. I eat eggs almost every morning. They do it for me. They don't do it for everybody. I'm not saying necessarily eat eggs because I know a lot of people who are reactive to eggs, but they're also rich in B vitamins. It helps enzymes perform their roles in processing to turn food into energy. Like, when I read this, I'm like, yes, I'm so glad I love eggs and that they're good to my body. Cashews are a solid source of copper, magnesium, manganese, I struggle with that word, y'all, which are key ingredients for energy production. Sweet potatoes are a great source of iron, magnesium, vitamin C, and those are all nutrients needed for energy production. And then also fatty fish and shrimp. So this is according to an article from Harvard that those omega-3s that are also rich in vitamin D are major sources for energy for our body. So let me just kind of talk about that. Are you getting enough protein, complex carbs, magnesium, B vitamins, copper, manganese, y'all, have vitamin D, vitamin C, iron, and fatty acids in your diet. Most of us are not. Even the healthiest US diets aren't getting enough of everything because these nutrients have been bred out of our food. When I was a little girl, my grandpa had an apple tree in the backyard, and they were very small. They were sour. They were almost not even sweet. And so when we talk about making food bigger and sweeter and grow faster, we've been slowly breeding out the nutrients in our food for the last 50 to 100 years. They don't even resemble the food that it was 50 to 100 years ago. And so really, even the healthiest diets more than likely still need a multivitamin. I could tell a huge difference when I started taking a quality multivitamin. The cheap ones can actually cause harm and do no good. So it's flushing money down the drain if you're taking a cheap one. What you're looking for is a whole food, soft pack, bioavailable. And I have a complete episode on that, so I'll post that in the show notes. But I will also tell you that the MetaPower system has been life-changing for John and for myself. He has been having 1 big cup of coffee a day. He usually stops around 11, and he used to drink all the way till 3 and 4. At the time of this recording, we just got back from the Galapagos Islands. It was amazing. And usually when we travel, I'm just spent by dinner, like I'm just done. And he usually brings back dinner to me into the hotel. And this last trip, he didn't have to bring back dinner one time. I just felt great. I had tons of energy. We also hiked to the base camp of Cotopaxi. It's nearly 16,000 feet. It's just under. And I just really don't think we would have been able to do that without the MetaPower system. I don't recommend starting everything at once. You know I'm a nudge the needle, start one thing at a time kind of thing. So you could start with water or food that we listed in here. I would probably start with MetaPower for 30 to 60, 90 days. Then if you're like, okay, I'm ready to go up to the next step, I would add a half a dose of the daily nutrient pack for 30 to 60, 90 days. See how you feel. Decide if you want to add more things. So John is still at a half dose, and he's doing a full dose of the MetaPower. And I'm on a full dose of MetaPower, full dose of the multivitamins, and I've also added a superfood blend. I have an autoimmune disease. Like, to me, that's non-negotiable. I have got to give my body the nutrients it needs so that it can take care of yourself. So I know I threw a lot at you right at the end, so feel free to send me questions or set up a free 20-minute health consultation. I'll put a link in the notes. I think that if you think you'll need more than sending questions or a 20-minute health consultation, I am a nutrition coach. Reach out to see if I'm currently taking new clients. If not, I can add you to the waiting list. Okay, so that's really more than I usually put in an episode. I'm a little bit sorry, guys. So just one change that you can make this week. Start with that. Nudge the needle, progress, not perfection. Please subscribe or follow. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you next time.